very many faces in our community, not only representing us in within the Gurdwaras, but as well in the academic field. Before we move on, may we please rise and have our heads covered for Kirpal Singh Matharu to start this ceremony off with Ardas.
अरदास एक ओंकार श्री वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। श्री भगवती जी सहाय। वार श्री भगवती जी की पातशाही 10वीं। प्रथम भगवती सिमर के गुरु नानक लें त्याय। फिर अंगद गुरते अमरदास रामदासा हुए सहाय। अर्जन हर गोबिंद नो सिमरो श्री हराय। श्री हर कृष्ण त्याइये जिस डिठे सब दुख जाए। तेग बाद सिमरिए गुरु नानक दावे ताए। सब थाई हुए सहाय। 10वीं पातशाह श्री गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब जी सब थाई होए सहाय। 10 पातशाहियां दी जोत श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी दे पाठ ते दौर दा ध्यान करके बोलो जी वाहेगुरु। 50 प्यारियां 54 साहबजादियां 40 मुक्तियां हटियां जपियां तपियां जिन्हां नाम जपिया वर्ण छकिया देग चलाई तेग गवाई देग के अंडिट किता तिन्हां प्यारियां सचियारियां दी कमाई दा ध्यान करके बोलो जी वाहेगुरु। जिन्हां ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਸਿੰਘਣੀਆਂ ने धर्म हेत सीस दिते बंद बंद खटाए खोपड़ियां लुहाइयां चरखड़ियां ते चढ़े आरियां नाल चराए गए पुठियां खला लुहाइयां गुरुद्वारियां दी सेवा लई कुर्बानियां कीतियां धर्म नहीं हारिया सिੱਖੀ केसा स्वासा नाल निभाई तिन्हां दी कमाई दा ध्यान करके बोलो जी वाहेगुरु। 50 थकता सरबत गुरुद्वारा दा ध्यान करके बोलो जी वाहेगुरु। प्रथमे सरबत खालसा जी की अरदास है जी। सरबत खालसा जी को वाहेगुरु 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 नाम चित आवे चित आवन का सदका सरब सुख होवे। जहाँ जहाँ खालसा जी साहिब तां तां रचे रहत देख देख फतेह बिरत की पैज पंथ की जीत श्री साहिब जी सहाय। खालसा जी के बोल बाले बोलो जी वाहेगुरु। सिखां नूं सिक्खी दान केस दान रहत दान विवेक दान विसाद दान भरोसा दान दाना सिर दान नाम तान श्री अमृतसर जी देशनान। चौकियां चंडे बुगे जुगा जुगटल धर्म का जयकार बोलो जी वाहेगुरु। सिखा दा मन नीवा मत उजी मत दा राखा आप वाहेगुरु। हे अकाल पुरख अपने पंथ ते सदा सहाय दातार जियो। श्री ननकाना साहिब ते होर गुरुद्वारे गुरु तामा दे जिन्हां तो पंथ नूं विछोड़िया गया है खुले दर्शन दे तौर ते सेवा संभाल दा तान खालसा जी ने बख्शो। हे निमाणिया दे मान निताणिया दे तान नियोटिया दी ओट सच्चे पिता वाहेगुरु। आप जी दे हजूर असी बेनती करदे हां कि श्री गुरुद्वारा रामगढ़िया रेलवे की प्रबंधक कमेटी वालों गुरमत स्कूल के सहयोग नाल इस स्थान से सिख हाई अचीवर्स अवार्ड का प्रोग्राम रखा गया है। प्रोग्राम नूं आरंभ करन दी आग्या बख्शिश करो जी। सरबत के कारज रास करने सही प्यारे मिलन जिन्ना मिला तेरा नाम चित आवे नानक नाम चढ़ती कला तेरे पाने सरबत दा भला। वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह। बोले सो निहाल वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह।
Thank you, Kirpal Singh Matharu. May Waheguruji bless you with courage, and we are looking forward to your continuous seva in the future.
We would now like to call upon the Gurmat school students to lead us in the Japji Sahib da Panch Pauriyan da Paath, followed by a Shabad to commemorate 401 years of Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji.
we please have the kids reciting the to make their way upon the stage. One, two, mic check. 1, 2.
Waheguru.
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 रुख भी तेरे पत्ते तेरे महल सारी छत तेरे रुख भी तेरे पत्ते तेरे महल सारे छत तेरे विख तेरे रत्त तेरे रंग सारे खत तेरे तू कण कण विच कण कण तेरा सती सुर ने सते तेरे वाह गुरु वाह 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 वाह गुरु हर तन नू वस्त्र बाणी दिंदा कुल सबना दी जाने दिंदा हर तन नू वस्त्र बाणी दिंदा कुल सबना दी जाने दिंदा की गवा तेरी महिमा सतगुर हर एक चुंझणो नाने दिंदा पक्के तेरे कच्चे तेरे झूठे तेरे सच्चे तेरे सानू पार लांगा दो सतगुर असिए जाने बच्चे तेरे वाह गुरु वाह 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 वाह गुरु महाराज राजन के राजा महाराज राजन के राजा नायक अखिल पवन से ताजा हम बैठे तुम देहो असीसा हम बैठे तुम देहो असीसा तुम राजा राजन के तुम राजा राजन के राजन के राजा महाराजन के महाराजा राजन के राजा महाराजन के महाराजा तुम देहो असीसा तुम देहो असीसा तुम देहो असीसा तुम देहो असीसा हम बैठे तुम देहो असीसा हम बैठे तुम देहो असीसा तुम राजा राजन के ईसा तुम राजा राजन के ईसा जान राज बानान पान देवान दे उपमा महान राजान राज बानान पान देवान दे उपमा महान राजन के राजा महाराजन के महाराजा राजन के राजा महाराजन के महाराज, राजन के राजा महाराजन के महाराजा। तुम दे हो असीसा, तुम दे हो असीसा, तुम दे हो असीसा, तुम दे हो असीसा। हम बैठे तुम दे हो असीसा, हम बैठे तुम दे हो असीसा। तुम राजा राजन के ईसा, तुम राजा राजन के ईसा। राजन के राजा महाराजन के महाराज, ऐसो राज तुम्हें और तुझा कौन चाहिए। तुम हो सब राजन के राजा, तुम हो सब राजन के राजा। आपे आप गरीब निवाजा, आपे आप गरीब निवाजा। दास जान कर कृपा करो मोहे, दास जान कर कृपा करो मोहे। हार परा में आन द्वार तोए, हम बैठे तुम दे हो असीसा। हम बैठे तुम दे हो असीसा। तुम राजा राजन के ईसा, तुम राजा राजन के ईसा। तुम राजा राजन के ईसा, तुम राजा राजन के ईसा। हम बैठे तुम दे हो असीसा। हम बैठे तुम दे हो असीसा। तुम राजा राजन के ईसा, तुम राजा राजन के ईसा। तुम राजा राजन के ईसा।
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
Thank you, Gurmat School students, the band, Yani ji and Mrs. Devinder Kaur Karyal for this wonderful performance and the efforts put into training.
Before we move on, I would like to invite Ms. Parneet Kaur Sagu to come and welcome our guests.
ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਰਾਮਗੜੀਆ ਰੇਲਵੇ ਦੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਗੁਜਰ ਹਾਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਭਰ ਰਹੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਿਹਰ ਸਦਕਾ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਬਣਾਈ ਰੱਖਣ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਾਈ ਅਚੀਵਰਸ ਅਵਾਰਡ ਸੈਰੇਮਨੀ 2022 ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਰਾਮਗੜੀਆ ਰੇਲਵੇ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਅਤੇ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸਕੂਲ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਲੀਕੇ ਗਏ ਹਨ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ 401 ਸਾਲ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਮਿਹਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖਣ ਅਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੀਏ। ਅੱਜ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਰਨੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਸੱਗੂ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਇੱਥੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਰਾਮਗੜੀਆ ਰੇਲਵੇ ਦੇ ਚੇਅਰਮੈਨ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਗਮਦੂਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਨੇਸਰ, ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਚੇਅਰਮੈਨ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਜਸਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਖੜਿਆਲ, ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਹੈੱਡ ਮਿਸਟਰੈਸ ਸਰਦਾਰਨੀ ਮੋਹਿੰਦਰ ਕੌਰ ਸੀਰਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਟਰਸਟੀਜ਼, ਕਮੇਟੀ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ, ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਚੇਅਰਮੈਨ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਤੇਜਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਟੋਰੇ, ਸਾਰੇ ਸਕੂਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੈੱਡ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਅਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸੀਪਲਸ, ਡਿਗਨੀਟਰੀਜ਼, ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸਕੂਲ ਟੀਚਰਸ, ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ, ਪੈਰੈਂਟਸ ਅਤੇ ਦੂਰੋਂ ਨੇੜਿਓਂ ਆਈਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਆਖਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ, ਇਹ ਤੀਸਰੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਾਈ ਅਚੀਵਰਸ ਅਵਾਰਡ ਦੀ ਸੈਰੇਮਨੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਾਲ 2018 ਵਿੱਚ 29 ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਨਮਾਨਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਅਤੇ 2019 ਵਿੱਚ 55 ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਨਮਾਨਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ 86 ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਹਨ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਸਨਮਾਨਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਭਰੋ ਅਤੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਦਾ ਆਸ਼ੀਰਵਾਦ ਦਿਓ। ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਹੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਯੋਗਦਾਨ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਸਫਲ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਮਾਸਟਰਸ ਆਫ ਸੈਰੇਮਨੀਜ਼ ਅਸ਼ਵੀਨ ਕੌਰ ਪੁਰਬਾ ਅਤੇ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੜਿਆਲ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਂਡ ਓਵਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Thank you, Parneet Kaur. Thank you, Parneet Kaur. Amongst us today, we have a few dignitaries whose presence I would like to recognize. We are honored to have you amongst us. Sardar Ravinder Singh Chadda, Chairman of Sikh Council Kenya. Sardar Amarjit Africa Ramgarhia Board. Sardar Inderjeet Singh Teti, Chairman of RYA. Sardar Jagjit Singh Ahluwalia, Chairman of Makindu Sikh Temple. Sardar Surinder Singh Sira, Vice President of East African Ramgarhia Board. And Dr. Ravinder Singh Matharu, Trustee of East African Ramgarhia Board. On behalf of the Chairman of Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhia Railway Organizing Committee and the Chairman of Gurmat School, I would like to welcome you all to the pristine surroundings of the Mata Gujar Kaur Hall at Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhia Railway South Sea. This hall is dedicated to the family of the 9th Master, Tan Tan Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, His gracious Mahal, Mata Gujar Kaur Ji, his son, our 10th Master, Tan Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and the Char Sahibzade. As we celebrate the 401 years of the Prakash Utsav of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, we are reminded of the sacrifices made by his family. The honor and glory of the Sikh community at large is a testament to the foundations laid by our Gurus. Hence, we must record our salutations to these divine personalities. Earlier, we recited a Shabad, Rajan ke Raja, Maharajan ke Maharaja. This is a salutation to Sarbansadani Shahanshah Tan Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. This Shabad translates in English, Guruji was King of Kings and Emperor of Emperors. Tum Deo Asisa, O King, we seek thy blessings. Our program today celebrates also the success and triumph of our youth who have excelled in their respective academic fields. If we look at the Sikh population in Kenya as a fraction of the rest, we are a minority. Yet we remain a very significant community in all facts of life in this country. In every school, the top achievers have names of Sikh students. The kingdom of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj has borne fruits. Here, I must urge all the youth to emanate the ethos and perspectives of the Khalsa Panth that was founded by those very kings. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Let us now move on to the award ceremony, the real reason as to why we are all gathered here today, with the first category being O levels. May we please have Mrs. Mohinder Kaur Sira, the head teacher of Gurmat School, to come and award these prizes.
First up, we have Rohan Teti. First up, we have Rohan Teti, who isn't here with us today. Rhea Teti will be representing him. He had 5 A's, 2 B's, 1 C, and 1 D. He's currently pursuing real estate and property investment at Ellesmere College in the UK.
Next up, we have Kiran Kaurjita, who scored 1 A star, 4 A's, 1 B, and 1 C.
Could we please have Mrs. Sarbjeet Kaur Chase, Deputy Principal of Gurmat School, to come on stage to award the next award? We've got Kulpreet Kaur Matharu, who had 3 A stars, 3 A's, and 1 B. Could we please have Mrs. Ravinder Kaur Mathar representing her?
Next up, may we please have Danjot Kaur Pogal, who scored 2 A stars, 4 A's, 1 B, and 1 C.
Could we please have Mrs. Davinder Kaur Kadyal to be on stage to present the next award? Next up, we have Parneet Kaur Sagu, who scored 2 A stars, 6 A's, 1 B, and 1 C.
Next up, we have Paramveer Singh Hunjan, who scored 3 A stars, 5 A's, and 2 B's.
Next up, could we have Jasroop Kaur Sembi? She scored 7 A stars, 2 A's, and 1 B. Presenting this award is Mrs. Sukhwinder Kaur Randhawa from Gurmat School.
Next up, we have Abhijot Singh, who scored 8 A stars and 1 A.
Could we please have Mrs. Jaswinder Kaur Sagi to present the next award? It goes to Amrit Kaur Ruprai, who had an astounding 10 A stars.
Next up, we have Avneet Kaur Semi, who scored 10 A stars.
To present the next award, I'd like to call upon Gyani Amandeep Singh Ji Noor. This award will be presented to Prableen Jutle, who had 10 A stars.
Next up, we have Harneel Kaur Jam, who scored 12 A stars and 4 A's.
Next up, I'd like to call Mrs. Daljit Kaur Pranisar, immediate past chairman of Istri Sabha, to present the next two awards. The first award will be going to Gurleen Kaur Kalla, who had 1 A star, 5 A's, and 3 B's.
Next up, we have Iqbal Singh Virdi, who scored 1 A star, 5 A's, 2 B's, and 1 C.
Before we move on, I'd like to recognize the presence of a dignitary who's just joined us, Sardar Manminder Singh Jandu, Secretary General of East African Ramgarh Board. Next up, we have Mrs. Satwant Kaur Pranisar from Istri Sabha to present the next two awards. The first one will be going to Pavanraj Singh Kalsi with 3 A stars, 4 A's, 1 B, and 1 E.
Next up, we have Pritpal Kaur Saggu, who scored 5 A stars and 2 A's. Today, Pritpal Kaur would like to give a few words of gratitude.
I'd would like to give a special thank you to Mr. Resham Singh Birdi, without whose support I could not have achieved this. Thank you.
The next award will be presented by Mrs. Savinder Kaur Bavra, Chairperson of Istri Sabha. I'd like to call upon Diya Kaur Deogan. She had 5 A stars, 2 Bs, 2 As, 1 B and 1 C. Diya represented her school, Samaj, in World Scholar in the year of 2019.
Next up, Karamveer Singh Palna, who scored 5 A stars, 2 As, 1 B and 1 C.
Karamveer Singh Palna is also one of our photographers today, who is doing seva for the Gurdwara. So a round of applause for him, please. Next up, I'd like to call on the stage Mr. Sukhvinder Singh Saggu, the second Vice Chairman of Sri Gurdwara Ramgarhia Railway, South Sea, to present the award to Mehak Kaur Pandal. She had 6 A stars and 2 Bs.
Next up, Parampreet Singh Edhi, who scored 6 A stars, 1 A and 2 Cs.
For the final 2 categories in the O-Level Awards, I'd like to call upon Mr. Gurpreet Singh Khalsi, Head Treasurer of Sri Gurdwara Ramgarhia Railway. The first award will be given to Aman Singh Panesar, who had 8 A stars. Aman is not here today, but the award will be collected by Dr. Jasbir Singh Lote. Oh, sorry, Jasbir Kaur Lote.
Next up, we have Naveen Kaur, who scored 9 A stars, 1 A and 1 B.
May we please have all the O-Level Award winners on the stage for a group picture? Kindly come with your prizes for the group picture. The certificates only.
Let
Thank-
us give them a big round of applause as they leave the stage.
Thank you to the O-level winners. Now we'll move on and recognize the advanced subsidiary and advanced level high achievers.
May we please have Tejinder Singh Gatore, who is the chairman of SGRR Safety and Security Team, as well as Manjeet Singh Bansal to come and present the next awards. First off, we have Harpreet Bansal, who scored 3 A's and 1 B.
Next up, we have Neil Singh Dadley, who had 4 A's.
Next up, we have Ishita Kanotra, who scored 4 A's. Her father will be collecting the award for her.
Presenting the next award, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Talochan Singh Narang, Chairman of Sikh Temple Meru. He'll be giving the award to Paramveer Singh Hunjan, who had 1 A and 2 B's.
Next up, we have Jasroop Kaur, who scored 3 A's and 1 D.
I'd like to call Mr. Bavraj Singh Ranota, who's representing Mr. Gurvinder Singh Ranota, Chairman of Gurdwara Ramgarhia Sabha Eldoret. He'll be presenting an award to Abhijot Singh, who had 3 A's and 1 C.
Next up, we have Avneet Kaur Sembi, who scored 3 A's and 1 B.
Could we please have on stage Mr. Jaswaran Singh Semi, Chairman of Sikh Temple Meru, who'll be presenting the awards to Prableen Kaur Jutle, who had 3 A's and 1 B. Sikh Temple Nyeri, sorry.
Next up, we have Harneet Kaur Chana, who scored 4 A's.
Next up, I'd like to call Mrs. Darshan Kaur Semi, Chairperson of Sikh Women's Society, to present the next two awards. The first one goes to Diljot Kaur Tinsa, who had a distinction in Diploma in Business Management. Diljot is not here today, so Ishwin Kaur will collect the award on her behalf.
Next, we have Aneska Marwa, who scored 41 points out of 45 in IB. She's not present, therefore Herman Marwa would collect the award.
To present the next award, I'd like to call Mr. Gulshan Singh Bara. He was one of our Education Fund donors. He'll be presenting the award to Jeevan Semi, who had 1A and 2 Bs.
Next up, we have Nikita Agarwal, who scored 2 A's and 1 B. Her award will be collected by Daljit Kaur Matharu.
To present the next awards, I'd like to call on the stage Mr. Harjinder Singh Panesar. These awards will be going to Simran Kaur Rai, who had 3 A's.
Next up, we have Harbaz Pandal, who scored 3 A's and 1 B.
present the next awards, I'd like to call Manraj Singh Lote, Treasurer of Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhia Railway. First award will be going to Nimrita Mudar, who had 1 A star and 2 A's. Nimrita is not here with us, so I'd like to call Mr. Del Mudar to come and collect the award on her behalf. I think Manraj is not here. I'd like to call our convener for today's event, Prabdit Singh Sagu, to present this award. Manraj is here. Please come on the stage.
Next up, we have Inderjeet Singh Karyal, who scored 1 A star and 2 A's. He's also my co-host for the event today.
Next up, I'd like to call Mr. Satvinder Singh Gahir, Head of Administration at Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhia Railway. His award, he will be presenting awards to Harneet Kaur Dot, who had 2 A stars and 1 A. I don't think Mr. Gahir is here. Could we please have Mr. Kuldeep Singh Deogan, Vice Chairman of Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhia Railway, to present this award?
Next, we have Gagandeep Singh Ranjit, who scored 2 A stars and 1 A.
The next award will be presented by Mr. Satnam Singh Matharu, Secretary of Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhia Railway. It will be presented to Gurkirit Singh, who had 2 A stars and 1 A. Could I invite Prabdeep Lochab to collect this award on his behalf?
Next up, we have Vishal Agarwal, who scored 2 A stars and 2 A's. His award will be collected by Bavraj Singh Ranota.
The next award will be presented by Mr. Hardeep Singh Chana, member of Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhi Railway. Will be presented to Parveen Singh Virdi, who had 3 A stars.
The next awardee is Manmeet Kaur Ubi. She is currently not here as she's still stuck at the airport, so we will award her later on. But she scored 5 A stars in A levels.
Next up, I'd like to call on stage Ikjot Singh, who had 42 points out of 45 in IB. This award will be presented by Mr. Hardeep Singh Rihal, Secretary of SGRR. Sandeep Main will collect the award on his behalf. Sandeep Main, please make your way on stage. Sandeep Main is, I don't think he's here. Could we have Ishwin Kaur to collect the award on his behalf, please?
Next up, we have Jasdeep Semi, who scored 1 distinction star and 2 distinctions in BTech.
Next up, I'd like to call Mr. Nirmal Singh Topar, Assistant Building Superintendent. He will be awarding the award to Prabdit Singh Sagu, our convener for today's event. Prabdit had 3 A's and 1 D.
Next up, we have Prableen Kaur, who scored 3 A's. She is not here. Her award will therefore be collected by Parneet Kaur Sagu.
The next award will be presented to Tanya Kataria. She had 1 A star, 2 A's and 1 B. This award will be presented by Mr. Satnam Singh Sira, Building Superintendent of Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhi Railway.
Next, we have Ishita Kanotra, who scored 1 A star and 3 A's.
Her dad will be collecting the award on her behalf. Can I please have Mr. Jasdeep Singh Jutle, Honorable General Secretary of Sri Gurudwara Ramgarhi Railway, to present the next 2 awards. The first one goes to Neil Singh Dudley, who had 2 A stars and 1 A.
Next, we have Harpreet Bansal, who scored 2 A stars, 1 A and 1 B.
To present the next two awards, I'd like to call Mr. Kuldeep Singh Deogan, Vice Chairman of SGRR. These awards will be given to Preet Kaur Singh, 3 A stars and 1 B.
Next, we have Tejveer Singh Renu, who scored 3 A stars and 1 A. Sat Sri Akal.
And lastly, in this category, we have Jaskirat Kaur Bambar, who had 3 A stars and 1 A.
We would now like to invite all the AS level and A level winners to join us on stage for a group picture.
Could we also have the chairman of SGRR, the chairman of the Gurmat School, and the headmistress of Gurmat School to come on to the stage for the picture? Can we have another huge round of applause to appreciate their hard work?
Next up, may we please have the chairman of SGRR, Mr. Gamdur Singh Panesar, to come on stage and share a few words with us.
A round of applause for the chairman.
The respected trustees, Managing Committee, Sri Gurdwara Ramgarhia Railway South Sea and Land East, past chairman of Sri Gurdwara Ramgarhia Railway, Sevadars of all the other Gurdwaras, chairman and vice chairman of Sikh Council of Kenya, representatives of all the other schools and education institutions, distinguished guests, boys and girls, parents, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the High Achiever Award winners for excelling in their studies. You are our future leaders. You are the one to take our community, our religion to the new heights. All of you are excellent students, good learners. I would like to share and discuss few things with you and all present here. We are here to award the high achievers. What I would also like to discuss with you people about our temple, our Gurdwara, our place of worship, our place of teachings. And the questions, whenever we talk to our youngsters, they have many questions to ask. Few of them is, for them, they want to know what is Gurdwara for them. Why should they go to Gurdwara? What is there to gain for them from the Gurdwara? What is there for them to do? And when they go to the Darbar Sahib, they say, we don't understand anything, whatever Gyanijis or the preachers tell them or say. Today I would like to talk to our youngsters. The reason of asking these questions are that we are not aware, or we have not been made aware of importance of our religion in our lives, purpose of worship, our place of teachings, where we go to Gurdwara to look for wisdom and the guidance from our Guru Ji, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Let's start with the why Gurdwara and why should we go to the Gurdwara. It's a simple thing. Guru Dwara means Guru Kar. Guru da Darwaja, home of Guruji. This is a place where we come to learn the way of life. How do we interact with the people around? How do we spend our lifetime to know about Vaheguruji, God, to learn about the law of nature, Balihari Kudrat Basya, Tera Antananjai Lakhya. To get knowledge, wisdom, teachings, guidance, and above all, to learn about ourselves. I think these are very clear things which we have to come to Gurdwara to learn and to understand. Now the calm question comes that we don't understand anything when we sit in the Darbar Sahib. The problem starts here now. Let me ask you people, when you go to the school, you go there to learn, not to worship the school. If you go to the school and go down to the teacher and the teacher shows the book, you don't learn anything. You have to sit in the class, you have to listen to the teacher, you have to understand the lesson which teacher is teaching you and understand it. That is the same way our Gurdwara Sahib is. Our Guruji are not there to worship. Our Guruji's teachings are there to understand. I think most of us, when we go to the Gurdwara, the basic things we do, we remove our shoes, wash our hands, enter the Darbar Sahib, we hold our hands together, we go in front of the Guruji, bow down, offer money or prasad, and sit in the Darbar Sahib. What next? That is the utmost respect you can give your Guruji. You have respected him. But what next? What about the teachings? The question is, do we interact with our Guruji? Most of us will say no. The reason? That we don't feel the presence of our Guruji. When we meet our brothers, sisters, parents, relatives, friends, we become happy. We greet them with Sat Sri Akal or Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Let me ask you, do we do the same thing? Do we greet Guruji the same way? Do we talk to him? If not, then how do we expect the blessings of our Guruji, with whom you have not even talked, you have not even interacted? So I will request all our youngsters, all present here, that we should do it. That is the main reason of coming and meeting our Guruji. And surely you will feel blessed. When you interact with Guruji, and our Gyaniji, and our other teachers, it brings the sense of belonging. Sense of belonging that we are telling our Gurus that we are yours and you are ours, you are mine. And now the next is that we have interacted with the Guruji. But how about, do we understand Guruji's Gurbani, Guruji's the words, Guruji's the Shabad? Because you cannot say that you have gone to the college, you have gone to the school, and you have hold the book in your hand and you will excel. There's no way out. You cannot say that you have been studying, looking at the book every day in the morning and the evening, and you will excel. So what do you have to do? You have to study. You have to read, and you have to understand it. Then you are implementing when the exam comes, you sit for the exams, and that is when you get the better marks. So why not with the Guruji? Guru Granth Sahib Ji is a whole treasure, is full of valuable teachings, wisdom. What do we do that? So, how to meet our Guruji? You see, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, it is good that ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. We feel blessed, yeah, we feel good, we feel peace. But more than that, what is there? Because that's not the end of it. So how should we meet our Guruji? The main reason is that the biggest problem which I have seen, and I have been talking to some of our preachers, that we believe in worshipping, not in understanding. Worshipping means that we give utmost respect. We think that Guruji is a person. उन्होंने अच्छे अच्छे रुमाले, अच्छा गुरु का अच्छे जोता जगाओ, ऐग जगाओ, which is irrelevant for the Guruji Shabd, which is not supposed to be there. What is supposed to be there? The respect from the inner heart, and to have the feeling of understanding of what our Guru is saying. Satgur no sabko vekda, jeta jagt sansar, डिठे मुक्त ना हो गई, जिचर शब्द ना करे विचार. It means all human beings perceive the true Guru, a glimpse of it, but no one could attain the salvation by having a glimpse. Unless someone deliberates on the Guru's words, Guru's Shabd. But no one could remove the filth of his mind just by saying or seeing Guruji physically, without understanding of Guruji's words, Shabds. So I will request all my high achievers and all the present distinguished guests and all the dignitaries, all of our people, all my brothers, sisters, that we have to do justice to our religion, to our Guruji, by reading, by understanding the Gurbani. Because when we even sometimes what people say that do Panj part of Japji Sahib, 11 part of Japji Sahib, Sukhmani Sahib they part karo, ai karo, o karo, 11 part karo, mala phero, ai karo. And people say that, and people do that. But by doing that, by cramming a book which is given to a kid or a child or a student in the class, do you think he will ever excel? Do you think he will ever understand? It's a cramming, it's not understanding. So what the main motive is to read is to understand. So we need to understand. So Gurbani as well, we have to understand. Even if you do a Nitnem every day, that is very good, that we should continue doing the Nitnem as our duty again. But apart from that, ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਈਵਨ ਇਸ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਦੇ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ is omni, is present everywhere. And Akal Purkh is everywhere and is also in us. And so what do? We have to keep him very close to us, close to our heart, read it, understand it, and implement it in our lives. So I'll ask all of you to create interest in reading Gurbani, Guru's words. Read little, but try to understand it. Your heart, while understanding, will become full of love, compassion, self-motivation, self-confidence, and responsibility by implementing our teachers, our Gurus' teachings, Tan Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So start small, start little, start with Mool Mantra, understand it, to know what is God. God is everywhere, God is in you, God is in me, you are part of God. So bless yourselves. For example, you have been doing it by studying long hours, by understanding your books, lessons. That's why today our children, our boys and girls are here receiving Sikh High Achievers Awards. So do it, please. We need to understand our Guruji, Guruji teachings, ਪੜੋ ਐਂਡ ਸਮਝੋ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਓ। Last but not least, at this place, Sri Guru Gurdwara Ramgarhia Railway South Sea, I'll invite my youngsters whenever, whoever, anyone of you want to discuss with us anything, how to improve your relations with our relations with today's youth, you are most welcome to come forward and sit with us. Bring new ideas. If possible, we will try our level best to implement them. Please come forward. What do you need from us? What do you need from SICCOM? Bring the ideas, any shortcomings. Let us do things for you as leaders. Feel free, have sense of belonging. This community, SICCOM, belongs to you, not to the Gurdwara, not to the leaders, not to the Pradhan, not to the Sevadars. It belongs to you, belongs to us. You are a part of it. Work towards the wellness of SICCOM. I would like to tell you that in your life, be positive, be confident, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors. Once again, I would like to congratulate all the Sikh High Achievers Award winners on this achievement. That's all. This is what I want to discuss, and please come forward and anything which we can do for the youngsters, please come, whether it's sports, whether it is any extra curriculum which you want to get involved to, come forward. We are there for you, and we'll try to help you wherever possible. Apart from this, now I would like to talk about our temple, what we are doing, what we have started. As you all know, that at this place, last year we started Guru Nanak Education Fund. That is a dream come true, which is running very successfully. My elder brother, Mr. Gurmukh Singh Panesar, is heading 5-member team, assisted by Sardar Satnam Singh Sira, Sardar Jaswinder Singh Kadyal, Sir Sukhwinder Singh Saggu, Sardar Hardeep Singh Channa. They are doing a wonderful job. At the moment, we are helping. I shouldn't say that we are helping, we are just assisting our kids to pay their school fees who are needy. And as you know, there's nothing better than education which we can help them with. And kindly, I will request you people, all present here kindly contribute towards the Guru Nanak Education Fund so that we can keep on assisting our children who need school fees to continue their studies. On this, I would like to thank some donors who have donated today wholeheartedly. Flamingo Hill Camp Limited has donated 20,000 towards the education fund. Our Istri Sabha chairperson is present here. Thank you very much for donating 51,000 towards the education fund. Thank you very much. Sardar Gurcharan Singh Ji Wada, he, even without asking, he is always at the forefront of helping us whenever we need, whether it's a food donation or the education fund or any other activity which we do. He has donated 108,000 shillings towards the education fund. Thank you, Gurcharan Singh Ji Wada ji. Thank you very much. So, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਪੀਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਇਫ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਫੰਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਟ ਕਰੋ. We'll be really grateful to you. There's one thing which I think ਸਾਡੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਹਨ. There's a difficulty which we are getting. Our kids are not able to interact with our Gyanijis. So I want to offer them that in case they need any lessons or any education in the English, they want to learn English, we can provide them, we can facilitate them so that they become literate in English, so that they can interact with our kids better way to educate them about our Sikhi, our Shabad, our Guruji. Please welcome. If you want to learn, just come forward. ਸਾਡੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਿਆਰ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਪਾਸੇ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਨਾ ਪਵੇ. They can learn from them. Apart from this, we are doing at this place, we have a safety and security team. During the elections, we were doing the patrolling and controlling, and we had a base station here. And I really thank our security and safety team and the whole public, actually, whole ਸਾਡੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੱਧ ਕੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ. And we are really grateful to them. And we also indulge into food donation now and then. So, aap jithe bhi, I'll request all of you to, if jithe bhi tusi help kar sakde ho, please come forward and help us in food donations. Apart from this, apni community de vich, apni kaum de vich insurance ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, and I'm happy to tell you people, all of you, that since we started the awareness of insurances, last year, apart from ਆਪਣੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਜੋ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ, we didn't have any other claims. We didn't get, before we used to get some claims from some medical bills which people could not pay, but now with the awareness, I think 95% of our people have done the insurance. Keep it up. Wherever we can help you out, just come forward. And even in case you need, you cannot pay the whole excess, we are there to help you out. Please come forward. In case ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਅੱਗੇ ਆਓ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਂ. ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਂਸਲ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਿਰਾਜਮਾਨ ਹਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਈਸ ਚੇਅਰਮੈਨ ਬੋਥ ਆਫ them, ਸਰਦਾਰ ਗੁਰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਫਲੋਰਾ, ਸਰਦਾਰ ਰਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਮਥਾਰੂ, we as our COM, SICCOM, we should have medical fund. We are thinking about starting it here at a small base at South Sea. But if you think that it is viable, we can do it at Sikh Council of Kenya. Please, let's get the ideas and let's float it, please. At the end, I would like to congratulate Gurmukh School, our organizers, our MCs, the chairman, Sadar, Jaswinder Singh Ji Kadyal, headmistress, Mrs. Mohinder Kaur Sera, and all our youngsters, our future, for organizing this wonderful event. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. At the end, thank you very much. God bless you all. ਹੋਇਆਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਚੰਦ ਦੀ ਖਿਮਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
Thank you, Mr. Panisar, for giving us this opportunity to come together and recognize the hard work of the high achievers throughout the country. Before we move on to our special category, we have a high achiever who has just joined us, straight from South Africa. Manmeet Kaur Ubbi, could you please come up and collect your award? She had 5 A stars in A-levels.
May we please have Mr. Hardeep Singh Chana to come and present the award. Moving on, we have a special category where we will be awarding those who did well in the IGCSE Religious Studies Sikhism paper, as well as those Gurmukh school students who did exceptionally well during 2020.
For the special category, I'd like to call upon stage Mr. Jagjit Singh Ahluwalia, Chairman of Sikh Temple Makindu, to award the first 2 awards. The first one goes to Kirat Kaur Sagu, who had 5 gold and 4 silver medals and 2 team trophies in World Scholars.
Next up, we have Deep Singh Sagu, who got 7 silver and 2 gold medals in World Scholars.
To present the next award, I'd like to call upon stage Mr. Ravinder Singh Chadha, the Chairman of Sikh Council Kenya. The first award will be presented to Jasroop Kaur Sembi, who had an A star in religious studies in Sikhism.
Next up, we have Kunwardeep Singh, who also scored an A star in Religious Studies Sikhism.
For the next award, could we please have Mr. Surinder Singh Sira, the Vice Chairman of East African Ramgarhia Board. This award will be presented to Prabdit Singh Saggu, who had 4 A stars, 5 A's, and 1 B in O levels.
Next up, we have Ishwin Kaur Matharu, who scored 3 A stars and 1 A in A levels.
Moving on, we're now going to present to you the pre-university, university, and professional category.
May we please have Manminder Singh Jandu, the General Secretary of East Africa Ramgarhia Board, to come and present the award to Prabjot Kaur Jutla, who got first class honors in Bachelor of Science in Medical Physiology from the University of Nairobi.
Could we please have Inderjeet Singh Teti, Chairman of RYA, to present the next award to Prabdeep Kaur Matharu, who had a Bachelor of Veterinary Medicine from University of Nairobi.
Next, may we please have Malkeet Singh Main from EBS to come and present the award to Pavraj Kaur Semi, who got a second class honors upper division in Bachelor of Commerce, double major in Finance and Entrepreneurship from Strathmore University. Malkeet Singh Main.
Mr. Main is not here with us. Could we please have Mr. Sukhvinder Singh Saggu present the award? Before we continue on to the next awards, we have some head teachers from some schools that I'd like to recognize. We've got Mrs. Semi from Brookhouse School, Mrs. Singh from Samaj School, Mrs. Vibanshu Sharma from Oshwell Senior High, and Mr. Charles Ondiki from Visionary School, Mr. Vijay Sharma from Samaj School, the Langata campus. Could we please have Mrs. Semi from Brookhouse School to present the first award to Garaj Singh Chase, who had a distinction in international business management from St. Lawrence College. Garaj Singh is not here today, so Mrs. Sarabjit Kaur Chase will collect the award on his behalf.
Next, may we please have Mrs. Singh from Samaj School to present the award to Prabjot Kaur Semi, who got a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from the University of Nairobi.
Next up, could we please have Mrs. Sharma from Oswald Senior High to present the award to Ashwinder Singh Bumrah, who had a Bachelor of Medicine and a Bachelor of Surgery from Moi University.
Next up, may we please have Mr. Charles Ondieki, the principal of Visionary School, to present Pavanraj Singh Chana, who got a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from Moi University.
Could we also have Simranpal Singh Deogan, who had a second-class honours upper division in Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of Nairobi.
Next up, may we please have Mr. Vijay Sharma, the principal of Samaj School, Langata campus, to come and award Manraj Singh Dot, who got second upper class honors in Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, specifically in Systems Engineering from Middlesex University. Manraj Singh Dot.
Could we please invite his mother to collect the award? Could we please have Jasveer Singh Gill, who had a second-class honours in Bachelor of Commerce, upper division in Entrepreneurship from Strathmore University. Mrs. Sukhvinder Kaur Randawa will collect the award on his behalf.
Next, may we please have Mr. Jaspal Singh Virdi, the auditor of SGRR, to come and present Kabir Singh Sambi, who got a second-class honors in Bachelor of Commerce, upper division in Finance from Strathmore University.
Kabir Singh Sami is not here with us, so Prabdit Singh Saggu will be collecting the award on his behalf. Next up, I'd like to call Mr. Ravinder Singh Matharu from the Sikh Council, and he'll be presenting his award to Karanveer Singh Dot, who had a second upper class honors, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, specifically Systems Engineering, from Middlesex University. Sorry, there's been an error. It was a first class honors from Middlesex University.
May we please have Mr. Chetan Singh Devgan to come and present Daljit Kaur Matharu, who got a first-class honors in Bachelor of Commerce, double major in Finance and Accounting from Strathmore University. She is also the co-convener of this event today.
For our next award, I'd like to call on the stage Trustee Swaran Singh Karyal. He'll be presenting the award to Hardeep Singh Matharu, who had a Bachelor in Science, first class honors in economics from the University of Kent in the UK.
Next, may we please have Mr. Resham Singh Birdi to come and award Prabdeep Singh Lochab, who got a first-class honors in Bachelor of Engineering with honors in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from Warwick University.
For the next award, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Sadagar Singh Pachu. The award will be given to Harmeet Kaur Pranesar, who had a second upper class honors in Bachelor of Arts in Interior Design from Heriot-Watt University. The next award, I'd like to call on stage is Sunit Kaur Channa, who had a Bachelor's of Veterinary Medicine and Surgery from the University of Edinburgh, which is one of the top universities in the whole of the EU. She is also a member of the Royal College of Veterinarians. I'd like to call Mr. Hardeep Singh Channa. Oh, okay. I'd like to call his sister to collect her award on her behalf.
Next up, may we please have Mr. Gurmukh Singh Panesar to come and award Satbir Singh Karwal, who got a Master's of Medicine in Obstetrics and Gynecology from the University of Nairobi. Gurmukh Singh Panesar is also the chairman of the Guru Nanak Education Fund.
We'd also like to call on stage Gurpreet Singh Ruprai, Masters of Medicine in General Surgery from the University of Nairobi. He's a general surgeon in numerous hospitals in Nairobi and in Thika.
Next up, may we please have Mr. Jaswinder Singh Garyal to come on stage and present Gunveer Singh, who got a Master's of Science with the distinction in Civil Engineering from Coventry University.
Next up, we have Dr. Satvinder Singh Rupra, a Doctor of Philosophy in Information Technology, Security and Audit from Kabarak University. May we please have Bavraj Singh Ranota to collect this award on his behalf.
Next up, may we please have Mr. Gurdeep Singh Flora, the immediate past chairman and the vice chairman of Sikh Council of Kenya, to award Ashwin Kaur Virdi first class honors in Masters of Engineering in Chemical Engineering with Energy Engineering from Heriot-Watt University.
We would also like to call on stage Jyoti Kaur Bada, who had Master of Science in Advanced Restorative Dentistry from the University of Manchester.
Lastly, within the professional and postgraduate category, may we please have Mr. Gamdur Singh Panesar, the chairman of SGRR, to come and present Dr. Dilraj Singh Sokhi with the award for being a professor in neurology.
I'd also like to add that Dr. Dilraj Singh Sokhi was one of the first doctors of neurology in Kenya. Sri Akal. Could we kindly have all the professional award winners and the postgraduate award winners on the group on the stage for a group picture? Undergraduate as well. Undergraduate, postgraduate, and professional award winners, please come on the stage for a group picture. Chairman of Sri Gurdwara Ramgarh Railway, Chairman of SGR Gurmat School, and Headmistress of Gurmat School, please come on the stage to join in the group picture.
We are very pleased to see a large number of awards being given out to the students today.
May we please have a massive round of applause for everyone who has won awards today. As mentioned by our chairman, Sardar Gamdur Singh Panesar, we have an education fund and we welcome more donations. It is something we do every term, and this fund currently supports over 35 students. Thank you.
Before ending the event, may we please have Ishwin Kaur Matharu to come and give the vote of thanks.
इस प्रोग्राम ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਪਰ ਰਹੇ ਆਪ ਸਭਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਕੇਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਾਈ ਅਚੀਵਰਸ ਅਵਾਰਡ ਸੈਰੇਮਨੀ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਜੋ ਕਿ SGRR ਗੁਰਮਤ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ ਉਲੀਕਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸਫਲਤਾ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪੂਰਨ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਕੋਟਾਨ ਕੋਟ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਗੁਜ਼ਾਰ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਪਾਰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਦੇ ਸਦਕੇ ਇਹ ਕਾਰਜ ਸਿੱਧ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਲਈ ਦੋ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ SGRR ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਸੂਝਵਾਨ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਾਈ ਅਚੀਵਰਸ ਅਵਾਰਡਸ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸਾਲ 2018 ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਤੀਸਰਾ ਅਵਸਰ ਹੈ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਅਧੀਨ ਕੇਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਹੋਣਹਾਰ ਤੇ ਨਿਖਰੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਨਮਾਨਿਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੈਕੋਗਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਅਫਜ਼ਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। ਅੱਜ ਲਗਭਗ 86 ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਕੋਗਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸ਼ਲਾਘਾਯੋਗ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਾਈ ਅਚੀਵਰਸ ਅਵਾਰਡ ਸੈਰੇਮਨੀ ਦੀ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੋਮੀਨੀਜ਼ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਲਈ ਕੜੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਔਨ ਦੀ ਅਦਰ ਹੈਂਡ, ਸਿੱਖ ਹਾਈ ਅਚੀਵਰਸ ਅਵਾਰਡ ਸੈਰੇਮਨੀ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਹਾਈ ਅਚੀਵਰਸ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਮਾਣ ਅਤੇ ਫਖਰ ਨਾਲ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਤਨੇ ਲਾਇਕ, ਹੋਣਹਾਰ ਅਤੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਲੀਅੰਟ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਕੇਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਲਿਆਕਤਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਉੱਚਾ ਤੇ ਰੋਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਆਪ ਸਭਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਸ ਸੈਰੇਮਨੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਗ ਲੈਣ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ। It has been such an honor to be a part of this ceremony. Now, on behalf of Gurmat School and SGRR, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests, dignitaries, and head teachers present from various institutions, respected trustees of SGRR, Chairman SGRR Sardar Gamdur Singh Panesar, Vice Chairman SGRR Sardar Kuldeep Singh Deogan, Second Vice Chairman SGRR Sardar Sukhvinder Singh Saggu, and all committee members, Gurmat School Chairman Sardar Jaswinder Singh Kadyal, Gurmat School Headmistress Mrs. Mohinder Kaur Sira, Deputy Headmistress Mrs. Sarabjit Kaur Chase, and all Gurmat School teachers. I thank you all. It was such a great experience to work under the leadership of Gurmat School Chairman Sardar Jaswinder Singh Kadyal and his organizing team, who always spare their time from their busy schedules. Our sincere thanks to the organizers and heads of this ceremony who handled the event throughout. A huge round of applause and thanks to all for their contributions who made this event a memorable one. Special thanks to Mr. Satnam Singh Sira, who worked with the team 24/7, guided us, followed up at every stage. I sure can say it was not possible without his support. We're really appreciative that senior students of Gurmat School have organized today's event. Many thanks to the convener, Mr. Prabdit Singh Saggu, co-convener, Ms. Daljit Kaur Matharu, Masters of Ceremonies, Mr. Inderjit Singh Kadyal and Ms. Ashwin Kaur Purba, and all other team members. Special thanks to the head of media, Jaskaran Singh Lote, Lucky and Manrat Singh Lote. Also, I would like to express my gratitude towards Jaggi Virti, who has provided his seva in SGRR Gurdwara's sound system for over 15 years, that even with no cost. He is ever ready to give his dedicated time, regardless of other commitments. Oh yes, and not to forget, appreciating the photographers of today's event, Rupi Kaur Kalla, Karambir Singh Palna, Arpan Kaur Randawa, and Mr. Kennedy. We were presented a warm welcome through the opening of today's ceremony with a musical event, mentored by Mrs. Davinder Kaur Kadyal and her music team with Gurmat School students. We pay our thanks to her. मैं स्त्री सभा साउथ सी दी चेयरपर्सन सरदारनी सिविंदर कौर पावरा, वाइस चेयरपर्सन सरदारनी कुलविंदर कौर फ्लोरा ਅਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਸਤਰੀ ਸਭਾ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਹੋਣ ਲਈ ਪੂਰਾ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ SGRR ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਟੀਮ ਯੂਥ ਦੇ ਚੇਅਰਮੈਨ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਤੇਜਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਟੋਰੇ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਟੀਮ ਦਾ, ਜੋ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ। Without the support staff led by Kennedy, who always provide their support and service, we would like to commend their job well done. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here for making time to be with us today and helping us make this event a grand success. May we have a huge round of applause for all the award winners today who have excelled in their various categories. Thank you all once again for giving me this opportunity to represent SGRR South Sea and Gurmat School to deliver the vote of thanks to all. Now, high tea will be served. Dignitaries and high achievers are requested to head upstairs for high tea, while the rest of the Sat Sangat is requested to remain downstairs. Thank you for your patience and for maintaining order throughout the event. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you, Ishwin Kaur Matharu, for the vote of thanks.
This event has now come to an end. But before we bid you all goodbye, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Instagram page, and Facebook page, where we will be posting from time to time updates on the events that are taking place in SGRR South Sea as well as Landis. May we please have the committee members of SGRR, Gurmat school teachers, and the organizing committee of this event to come on stage for a group picture. The committee members of SGRR, the Gurmat school teachers, as well as the organizing committee of today's event to come on stage for a group picture. Are we moving in with them? We're actually moving in with them.
Once again, we'd like to request all the high achievers and their parents to join us for high tea upstairs, as well as the dignitaries and head teachers. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.